That's a very nice bike, Jack. Cool, man, I scuffed it up though. It's like music. 5 reasons why maybe you should consider a hardtail. Number 1, versatility. Hardtails are incredibly capable mountain bikes for several reasons. They are lighter than a full suspension mountain bike. A lot of hardtails have a lot of things built into them in terms of the carbon layup to allow for comfort, which is something which you are slightly compromising in the difference between a hardtail and a full sus mountain bike. With a hardtail though, I've never found it any slower to use it for some gravel riding, some trails or bike packing on. It seems to be an incredibly versatile bike that will allow you to do a multitude of different things on it. And with the comfort, you can accommodate quite a lot of that on the tire size and pressures in the frame as well. Number 2, they're really fun to ride. I've taken this bike and used it for bike packing races. Previously I used a hardtail for doing Grinduro as well, which is known as being a gravel race. They may be a little bit slower than say a gravel bike, but they make up for that in smiles. Ding. Number 3, comfort. I've sort of changed my mentality for a lot of bike packing off-road events that I'm doing into using this bike for those events on the comfort basis. Having the suspension forks on the front and the ability to put massive tires on them has definitely helped in terms of comfort. Depending on the tire used, you can still have quite a low rolling resistance if you're doing a bike packing race, which ultimately could be, I don't know, 700 to 1,300 kilometers. I don't feel it's a huge compromise now with the way that hardtails are being built up and the weights that you're getting them down to. And there's ways to optimize your position aerodynamically so you're not really slowing yourself down too much. Number 4, gear ratios. Now, mountain bike gear ratios have kind of been a thing for a very long time. What I mean by that is you tend to have a very small chainring on the front and a massive cassette on the back. We're starting to see this trickling into gravel cycling, which is meaning that the mountain bike gear ratios are being adopted for gravel bikes. Depending on the group set you're using, it's quite easy to interchange those kind of parts as well. On my Cervélo ZHT-5, I'm running a 30-tooth chainring on the front and an 11-51 cassette on the rear. So my easiest gear is really easy to allow me to get up some pretty steep climbs as well. These kind of gear ratios are perfect for bike packing trips and also great if you're hitting the trails with your mates and being able to climb up some of the steep banks before hitting the downhill descents. Very nice. Number 5, ability to mount stuff. What I mean by this, with a hardtail, you have a lot of space. It's the final frontier, Jack. You have all this space to be able to use for mounting frame bags, bottles, whatever it is, etc. in your bike, but quite often this space is compromised if you go for a full suspension bike because of how the suspension goes in the bike. When I was out in Morocco, I had a full-size frame bag which gave me loads of room to be able to store stuff. I then mounted the water bottles on the forks using Tailfin's system, which allows you to mount stuff on the forks. I never felt like having a hardtail over a full suspension really was a massive compromise in the ability that for bike packing I could then carry more stuff. Done it. Hardtails are cool. There's definitely a resurgence in hardtails and we're seeing advancements in how good the current generation hardtails are by seeing them being used by some of the best mountain bikers in the world. This one's very nice. If you have any more things that you would like to raise about why you think hardtails are so good, please drop it in the comments so other people can read those. But yeah, I'm completely sold by them. Big fan of this one. Please like, subscribe, all that stuff. To the pit. Ooh, 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 hey, ooh, 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 ooh.